Hello and welcome back to Chord Hacks. We are looking at some fun and exciting ways that you can utilize chords to create music that you love and to play the songs that you love. So we've looked at what a chord is, how to play inversions, and some fun things we can do in our left hand, and now it's time to put all of it together. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to use our right hand using root positions and inversions while we are also playing a complementary bass line with our left hand. So we're going to dive right in and we're going to explore some of those skills we learned in our left hand while we add in our chord progression using our 1, our 5, our minor 6, and our 4 in our right hand. So I'm going to start by just playing root position chords in my right hand because when we add this all together, it can be complicated, and I want you guys to feel like you're succeeding. I want you to get those little victories. And the best way to do that is by starting so it's a little bit simple. Start simple and then build from there so that you can get the full benefit of the skill before adding something new in. So by playing the root positions in my right hand, I'm giving myself the freedom to just get used to the motion, the feeling of how it is when it's together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by playing just root notes in my left hand, and I want you to keep in mind that you are not limited to just playing one note. You can create rhythms with your left hand, and I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm going to start with my 1, my C, 5, minor 6, and then the 4. I'm going to switch to octaves now. Fifths. I can add some dynamics, make it fun. Break my fifths up. And next I'm going to try that arpeggio skill. The sky is the limit. Once you get the hang of playing both hands together, you can be incredibly creative with what you're doing. I've just shown you one approach. There are unlimited approaches. So explore, have fun, change up your rhythms, change up your dynamics. Play at the bottom end of the keyboard and then play at the top end of the keyboard. There really are no rules. So let's take a look at what happens if we start to use inversions. So one of the most common problems that I see when I'm teaching is when we move to inversions, it can be complicated sometimes for the brain to know what chord they're supposed to be playing or what note they're supposed to be playing in the left hand. So for example, this is simple. We know we're playing a C, so this hand plays a C. We're moving to a G chord next. So sometimes you're looking at that going, what am I supposed to be playing in my left hand? My root note is no longer my root note. My root note's up here now. So just keep in mind that your left hand at this point can follow the name of the chord name or the number. So 1, 5, minor 6, and then the 4. So I'm going to show an exercise that is going to combine some movement in this hand using inversions with some of the skills we've learned in our left hand. And you'll be able to see this on your screens or access the music for this so that if it doesn't make sense right away, you can go back to it, you can see the notation. If you like notation, it is there for you. So I'm going to start with a root position chord. Like I said in earlier lessons, I find it easy to just start at root position. We can get creative with our inversions from there. It creates a home base feeling for us. And we're going to play an octave on C in our left hand, and we're going to go to our 5 position. So you remember from our inversion lesson, to get to our 5 chord, we just have to do this little simple movement from here to here. We'll do 8, up to our minor 6, and here's our 4. It's really straightforward. We're going to play some broken fifths with that now. There's our 5 chord. Here's our 4 chord. And here's some arpeggios. exercise that will help you get used to playing hands together, using inversions, using some different skills that are changing up in our left hand. You can approach this at any speed, start slow, work your way up. And remember, you can always use dynamics as you're playing to keep it interesting. One of the grueling things I think about practicing is the repetition can get kind of boring, and it's hard to stay engaged while you're doing something over and over and over and over again. So one of the things that I do is I really work at changing up my dynamics. I work at, changing my volume. Maybe I'm going to play legato smoothly. Maybe I'm going to play staccato. Maybe you have so many options for what you can do dynamically that'll help keep it interesting. So to review, when we're putting our hands together while playing a chord progression, we can build on a very simple foundation. So what that can look like is just your root position chords and something nice and simple in the left hand. And you can take it from that point to any of the inversion combinations that we've looked at today using any of the skills that we've learned in our left hand, which I don't think any 2 times I play a chord progression, I do it the same. So right? You can play at home following these notes. You can even play at the same time as me, playing something entirely different, but using these rules of the chord progression, and it'll sound complementary. It'll sound really fun. So, have fun with these chord hacks. We'll see you next lesson to look at some ways that we can add even more fancy skills to create some really cool sounds.